Plymouth Argyle Football Club. Every time you think they're done, they come roaring back.
He can shoot from distance. No, he goes wide to Raksaki. Looking to cut into his left foot. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Jessa and Raksaki. The delivery comes in and Argyle player goes to ground. Hardy helps it forward again. Edwards with the bicycle kick is smuggled in! Johnny with the strike!
Who would have thought it? A remarkable victory against Sheffield United on Saturday keeps them in touch at the bottom of the Championship table. All the doom and gloom from midweek vanishing with those late goals, which mean that they are just 3 points off safety in the table. This is Argyle Analysis, and we will take great pleasure in talking through one of the most famous victories for Argyle this season. And there has been quite a few of them. To help me do it, as always, I've got Aaron Cusack with me. And Aaron, I mean, a year to the day since the 1-0 victory over Leicester, which we thought probably couldn't be beaten or topped in terms of league performances and getting out of relegation scraps. But we're going to do it again.
Oh, I mean, I'm exhausted. I don't know if it's about you. I think everyone else is as well, aren't they, Charlie? I mean, they go and do it again against an opposition where realistically they shouldn't be getting anything against. And they've done it, and it's the hope that gets you, doesn't it? You know, it's the hope that they're clinging on and they're gritting their teeth, you know, and they've clawed their way back into what might be, what could be a remarkable recovery. You know, if you go back 7 days prior to the Norwich game, if someone said, look, you'll have 6 points from the next 3 games, people would take that. And after the real disappointing performance against Swansea, to return a performance like that against a promotion chasing team in Sheffield United was nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, when you put it like that, actually, you're absolutely spot on, aren't you? From the 3 matches over the course of the 7 days, you're quite happy with 6 points. You think that's a really good return, and yet you're kind of looking at it and thinking it's been done in the wrong way around. I know they were both home wins, but as you say, Sheffield United, certainly after their defeats that they'd had recently, they would have been full throttle going at this game, trying to get back on track and seeing it as a big opportunity to do so. And you know, they nearly did. But this Argyle team, I can't describe them.
No.
They're indescribable.
No, they're just enigmatic. You just don't know what you're going to get in a way. And like you said, but the one thing they're not, you know, there doesn't appear to be a pattern in what you're going to get. So I think Muslit said it last week. You know, the pattern is they might do something really well and then they like capitulate.
The pattern is no pattern.
And then it's no one can put a finger on it. And it keeps everyone on the edge of their seat. And you know, going back to Sheffield United, they were coming to the game, albeit 2 successive defeats, but I think they had the second best away record in the league.
Yep.
So they were a formidable opponent. And to keep them relatively quiet, I felt, you know, they had a couple of chances, but in terms of balance, I know they had more possession. There wasn't a great deal of difference between the 2 teams.
Yeah, it was a game that for large parts, you know, didn't enthrall, but boy did it come to the fore. And I suppose maybe Sheffield United taking the lead just before half-time maybe did that, maybe ignited the game into life.
Yeah, because not a lot went on in the first half, and I think that was testament to Argyle's resilience. But then just before half-time, Raksaki just turning on the inside of Ogbeta, and what a brilliant finish, by the way, Charlie. I mean, let's give the lad credit. I mean, he's cut it back there as well, so it's not like he's gone sideways in towards goal. He's cut it behind himself, so he's brought the ball back behind him, which is hard to defend. And then that finish there has gone out round the post. But then we had to wait until the 80-odd minute for Joe Edwards to have an impact, and then Ryan Hardy to do what he's done so well in the last 6-8 weeks in particular, be in the right place at the right time. Poacher's finish to score his 9th goal in 11 games or 10 games. And it was the fact that he was alert, and you need your best goal scorers alert when it matters most. And leading into what would have been added on time in the 90th odd minute. Is this the 88th minute? Great ball in here by Barley Mumba. Really difficult ball to defend. And then it's fallen brilliantly for Tajani. Very similar to his finish against Cardiff a few weeks ago. But what a time to score as well. The timing as well is what makes it so significant. It didn't allow, and a good finish as well, it didn't allow Sheffield United to recover. And thankfully, we held on for the vital 3 points.
Yeah, it's one of the loudest I've heard Home Park for quite a long time, and I seem to say that a lot this season. Liverpool was one of those moments. The West Brom game was another one, but it just, you're right. The timing of the 2 goals, both inside the last 10 minutes of the game, which we've seen actually quite a lot of this season, haven't we? And the fact of you can go ahead against a really good team and it's like, we've got to sit in now for a long period of time. There were 7 minutes of added on time to play, but when you score that late, if anything, it buoys you and deflates. That would have deflated Sheffield United so much, that Tajani finish, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, because of the fact that they'd lost the previous 2 games as well, and they probably felt throughout the whole of that game that they were never going to lose the game. A draw might have been a result towards the end, but that just sucker punched them. And not only that, even though there was 7 minutes of added on time, the adrenaline of everyone inside that ground, crowd, staff, players, would have just ridden them across that crest of a wave to hold out for the 3 points. And in that 7 minutes, they didn't really carve out any other real gilt-edged chances. So that was credit to the concentration and the mindset of the players to hold on to something that allowed them to get the 3 points.
That was one sub that started the change of the game. The second one ended up ultimately defining the game. Mohamed Tajani, who similarly has had such a difficult season with injury.
Yeah, he's very up and down, isn't he? He's had a similar injury to Joe, I think, with quite an excessive tear. But he was just difficult, wasn't he, Charlie? He was awkward. He came on, he ruffled their feathers, he roughed them up a little bit. This is 2 or 3 minutes after coming on. Look, he recognises that. He gets into the disturbances and then, wins a free kick, right on the edge of the area. And he made it difficult for the Sheffield United defenders. And from the resultant free kick, look, it falls to Ryan Hardy and it hits the crossbar. So
you get a bit of belief there, don't you?
You do, and it starts to and what I love here, look, from the goal kick, look at him just throwing Vinny Souza out the way, and they wouldn't have liked that, Sheffield United. They're bringing on someone like Tajani who's big, he's strong, and he had an impact, and he brought value, Charlie. That's what I liked. He brought value to the team for that last half an hour, and this is the winning goal. Great bit of wing play by Barley Mumba, but we'll have him just circled here. He just kind of waits, and then it falls brilliantly for him in the right space, and it's a real clinical finish as well. He's got defenders chucking themselves at him right in front of the ball, and he's been able to just control his emotions, pick his spot, and then score against what is, a fantastic goalkeeper in Mike Cooper. So, and what a timing to win the game for Argyle.